veteran with many years of service. He's moved up to the north from the south, probably London. Yeah, he's worked in the States. And has got more into nationalistic politics. So here he is, to tell you a little bit more. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't have to follow David's speech, but I'll do my best anyway, so there he goes. Might all be downhill from here, but bear with me. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be here and a pleasure to meet you all finally today. Firstly, I'd like to thank Alec and David for organising the conference and for selecting a very nice venue. What's ironic today is that it's been years since I've actually been here in Leeds. Even though I was actually born here in a small maternity hospital that I don't think actually exists anymore. It's called High Terrace. I don't think it's anymore. Good. Sort it out. Generations of my family used to live here, and I still have cousins that live here as well. My mother and father were here, and they took me away as a young boy to live in different parts of the country due to my father being in the military as well. He did 20 years service. I eventually ended up in Kent. I did most of my schooling there. I went to a school there called Leader School for many years, and I then left there. I did bother going into full-time education. I really wasn't into academia at the time. I was more physical, and I decided to join the army. I joined as a guardsman. I spent 6 years as a guardsman. Left around early 2000, and then decided the skills I learned there, such as being able to organise others around me, which you wouldn't have thought so today, because one of my friends couldn't make it, because she wouldn't be up with today, she got lost in Leeds, but there you go. That's another story. But I took that, and I took my own self-discipline and delegation of skills, forward-thinking, problem-solving. Again, different coincidence, but I took that into hospitality management. I managed pubs and hotels for many years down south in London, parts of Surrey. Worked in Bond Street, Oxford Street. But what happened was I wasn't really politically minded around that time. I was leaving hospitality and I wanted to sort of change course, so I wanted to go into a partnership. There was a business partnership I was taking up or something. And we would actually have better hours and better conditions and better money. And I could have more time at home. I was married to hospitality. But to cut a long story short, lockdowns happened under Boris. And the business went straight through, didn't get off the ground, and I was left in London without having to pay any rent or anything. I had to live on any savings I made, and decided, right, enough's enough. So I came to the North East. I had army connections, so I stayed in a village called Sacriston, and they got me an apartment there, and then I just moved to Peterlee. Well, actually, I'm in Easington Colliery, an old mining town. But what got me into this in the first place, actually, was a whole anti-white narrative that we were dealing with. I noticed it happening during COVID. So I just decided to start looking at alternative news sources to see what was really happening, because I knew it wasn't adding up. And then suddenly it went from there to the whole BLM thing to everything else coming from America. It went from one thing to the other. And then I went on to other alternative media sites, and then sort of started seeing a lot of anti-white rhetoric, a lot of violent rhetoric towards white people, actually, of I think the European descent anyway, whatever Europe. And obviously it made me angry. Paid off. Simple. And then I saw a lot of attacks against our country, its heritage, our ancestral heritage, and this will obviously have ramifications for our future generations as well. Don't like, you sort of sit there and you think, well, I can watch it, I can complain about it, I can maybe go on social media and make a little post or I don't know what's going on, but I'd like to actually get involved and do something about it. And I decided to get in touch with Alec directly. And I said, yeah, what can I do? I said, I'm in Sunderland now, well, not Sunderland, Peterlee, but we call it Sunderland, it's a catchment area. But so what can I do? I said, be a branch leader, so I was a branch, and I thought, it's a challenge, you know. I didn't know anybody there. I still don't know too many people there. I'm still getting to know who's there, really, you know, get to know people. But since I've been running the branch, I've managed to link up with some volunteer project groups. I have a cooperative in the running because I've got the allotment there. I started to run my own produce, and I decided to start setting up a community cooperative in Easington College, an old mining town, which has gone downhill over the years. Thatcher policies back in the 80s, and I've got speaking to people there, and the biggest concern there is economy. Also a Labour stronghold, but now the area is disenfranchised with the Labour Party, so they've got nowhere to go. So I need, let's just say, someone in between, and there's a big reform support in the area, but obviously we know reform's not going to be the way to go. We have our own reasons for knowing that, but not a lot of members probably do. But I have knocked on doors and spoken to them about that. I've had reform leaflets come through my door, and I've gone to the door and asked them if they actually want to speak to me, and they've walked away. Okay, fair enough. Trying to put leaflets through the doors. Farage is famous, well known. That's all you're going to go on. Okay, they get into power, then you start seeing the bricks start to fall, so to speak. Because we know it's going to happen. And what we need is a opposition party. That's a National Rebirth Party, obviously, and it's a decisive agenda. I call it a comprehensive agenda, but I call it a decisive agenda because it gets to the heart of the matter. It gets to the heart of the community, especially within the working class. And I've noticed this in my travels in my area. And as I've got in touch with a local residents association, for instance, and I've also spoken to the local constabulary. We have meetings every month as well, and we have what's called a cup of tea with a copper. It's called a local parish, and you speak to local residents and discuss issues there, and it's social behaviour, litter, council services that are poor. A lot of complaints against the council there. Funny enough reforms took over in the last council elections, which is a coincidence. It seems to have got worse. But so this is the reason that I've got into it in the first place, but not just the anti-white, obviously, narrative in the first place, and the anti-British narrative, but also the political field itself. It's just in need of complete overhaul, and we need a third position party, and I believe that's the National Rebirth Party. After reading the agenda, I decided, yeah, that's what we're going for, and I've been getting out to people as much as I can. I have knocked on doors, I have canvassed, and there are people that are interested. There has been people that have expressed interest. It might not be in the branch yet, but they have expressed interest. So I see it as the seed that can grow. And what I'm trying to do is also spread what I'm doing in the local community now around further areas, sort of Newcastle, Sunderland, Durham, like a spider's web, so just rinse and repeat it. I mean, what I believe is, I think now is the time. I don't think there's a better time where we go forward as a party. I think this is it. There's going to be no other time. We're not going to leave it till next year, the year after. And now's the time. When I spoke to people out the street and at the doors, they said, don't believe in Labour. Even some people don't believe in reform now as well. And then you show them the NRP agenda, and they're very, very interested. I mean, you know, they just see it as it is. They see every single aspect of that agenda they agree with. Literally every single one. There's not one they don't agree with. It just covers every topic it needs to be covered in nationalism, basically. But yeah, I mean, I just see, you know, you've got to work from the ground up. You've got to work with what you have. You know, I think that's all I really need to say. Just want to get that out there and let you all know who I am first, because you've never met me before. That's it, really. That's it, guys. I mean, there's not a lot more to say. But
Nice one.